This is Chris Likeness with AxumSite.com. Doing this video for AxumSite, which is basically going to be an overview of what I consider the best 3 Twitter clients out there on the market right now for Windows Phone. I've got the HTC Titan here, and I'm going to show you Rowi, Mehdoh, and the newest contender, Carbon. Real quick off the top, we've got the tiles here, and you can see Rowi they've all got a live tile going on. This one's a mixed tile that shows both accounts I have set up for Carbon. This is the Carbon tile for just my one account at Chris Likeness. This is the Mehdoh tile that I'll show you inside. Has 4 different options for a live tile, and this one shows like all the people that I've communicated with recently. And the Rowi tile shows I've got 1 DM and 2 @ replies, which I generated myself on the computer by logging into the AxumSite account and sending my @Chris Likeness account some. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each of the different Twitter clients. I'm going to show one part of it, then I'm going to go between the 3. As you can see, about 10 minutes ago I sent 1 DM, like I said, and 2 @ messages to one of my accounts, and Rowi's the only one showing anything. If I'm not mistaken, I've been told that Mehdoh actually goes out and polls the server once every 30 minutes, I believe. It doesn't use a true push technology, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and I apologize once again to Chris on that if I did make that mistake. But Rowi uses a true push, and it took about 5 minutes for those to come across, which is sufficient. It's not as good as what you'll hear my other phones behind me making all sorts of noise almost instantly on Android and iOS. So anyway, we got Carbon. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this tile here because, well, I don't really need it for this test here. So what I'm going to do is, my favorite so far, or in the past, were these 2. Carbon came on the scene from one of their other OS. I think it was WebOS. They were popular there, and they've had all sorts of trouble getting into the marketplace. They're finally on. It's well anticipated, but they don't have any live tile support right now or push notifications per se. So we're going to start out here. We'll just show with Mehdoh, which for a long time was my favorite. And this is the timeline. It's got your little icons there for the different people, and shows the tweets, and you can actually set up whether or not you want to show their actual name or their Twitter handle per se. So basically, and let's say that I want to bring one up, bam, there it is. If I want to interact with it, I can hold it down, I can reply, retweet, edit and retweet, which is very important to me, favorite it, or look at the profile of the person that made the tweet. Okay, so basic timeline there. It's pretty fluid to go between them, bam. So Mehdoh, if I'm not mistaken, I get them all 3 confused, but this one has where if I actually do a refresh on the timeline, it actually refreshes the mentions and the direct messages as well. You've got an icon here to actually create a tweet, just like that, blah blah blah. You've got the refresh button, and you've got the app button here, which shows who you're following and stuff. And you got a search button. Then we have the options, and I'll show you all that in a moment. So we're going to go, this is going to be a long video, by the way, so stay tuned. Rowi, these notifications are going to go away once I bring this up, but we'll go ahead and pop in here. And here's the message timeline. Loads up pretty quick. We're in the DMs there. It remembers where you were last, and I was in the DMs, and I made myself a whole lot of DMs to eliminate getting anybody's personal direct messages to me involved. So here's the timeline. Just as smooth as Mehdoh. Here's another thing. Click on the timeline, up the heading up top, and you can actually go to the top of the timeline. So want to click on one, there you go, interact with one, bring it up, and we've got reply, retweet, favorite, and profile. Retweet with a comment is not there on that screen. However, I complained about that before, and I think that's an option here. Retweet with comment, yes. So you actually have to make an extra step to do that, which is not a huge deal, but it'd be really nice if they would allow me to do it right there, just like Mehdoh does. But like I showed you, you can go here, actually click on the tweet, and go to the options, and you got all these different things here. We'll go back to Mehdoh here real quick. You see the options. Oops, hold on. Well, yeah, here we got add a tweet. I got so many things I want to say about all these that this is going to be a long video. To refresh, you refresh it the same way, except for it only refreshes one column at a time, and then you've got your search. So we'll get back there. We'll go back here. You see what the options we have are. We got retweet with comment, share, and you can share messaging or email. And I have something going on over there. Favorite, translate, which is kind of cool. Message, reply to them, or if you want to reply, you can just simply go bam. So, all right, we will go back to Mehdoh and show you something I didn't show you before. When you actually get on that timeline and you click on the actual tweet, here's your things you can do here. You can view the profile, edit and retweet, just like report for spam, save for later, which uses Instapaper and a couple of one other, and I'll show you that in the settings, and then translate. So they both have translate. All right, on to Carbon. On the Carbon timeline, pretty much the same old, same old. Click on, well, let me get back up. Here's something pretty cool about this that I didn't notice about the others. When you get a retweet, it actually says who retweeted it. A lot of Twitter clients don't do that. Hold on there, you got reply, quote, and retweet. And quote is kind of like retweet with comment, where it puts my cursor at the beginning and I can do the same thing, so that's actually pretty cool. I like that, because I like to, when I retweet things, I like to make a comment on them a lot of times. So anyway, scrolling up and down, just like with oh, and by the way, this little line there, that line indicates the tweet since the last time I refreshed, if I'm not mistaken. You can do just a single. Actually, a single doesn't take you up there, but if you double click it, oh wow, okay, maybe it does. But anyway, so we click on the actual tweet here, and let's see what kind of options. This is a little really nice. This is different. Gives you a little kind of stylish display of the actual tweet. So here we can share via email, SMS, copy text, translate. You've got reply, quote, retweet, and add to favorites, which are at the bottom as well. So just to do a retweet, let's go back here, and well, no, I don't want to retweet my own stuff, but anyway, you see what I'm saying. But here we have add a new tweet, and it actually remembered when I was getting ready to quote and retweet there. If you look in the box up there in the upper right, it tells you how many characters you have left in the box. Kind of neat, instead of off to the side or whatnot. Alright, let's go back there. What was I trying to show you? Oh, that was add, and then here you can actually bring up the stats. I don't really understand why it's there in the middle, but it shows all my tweets, how many followers, and all that kind of stuff I have. This is something I think, you know, like if I was to click here, it should bring up that. It's kind of wasting a little space there, in my opinion. You've got your search, and then you got the refresh, just like the other two. And here you got view trends, go to tweets. Something else that when I brought this up, let's go here, and so you see this graphical, you know, kind of stylish looking thing here. You go side to side and actually go to this guy's profile. I'm following him, he's following me, shows how many tweets he got. It's all these stats here. It's really nice. And then there's the tweet again. The other two do not do that, as far as I can remember. And I got another tweet there, as you can see on the what is it called, Rowi live tile there. So let's go to the same tweet by that guy. Refresh it. Okay, where was that tweet? Oh, there it is. and that's all you got. You don't have any left or right or here, but here you can favorite it, retweet it, and this button here, which shows, you can send it, share it via Google Mail, and I showed you those options. So, all right, now we're back in Mehdoh here, so let's just look at the mentions. The same thing. Which Twitter client app are you running on those respective phones? I am going to reply to him later, but that was somebody I had just tweeted. Let's see if we get a conversation view here on Mehdoh, which you do. Chris, which I have an iPhone 4, Galaxy Nexus HTT Titan on my desk, all charged and running Twitter apps and push notification. iPhone wins. Basically, every time I've been sending these tweets to myself, my Galaxy Nexus and Windows Phone has been a little slow to notify me, and this iPhone's been like, wow, boom, it's there. So they've really got that going on. So anyway, mentions. Same stuff. You can actually do the same, interaction with that tweet as you can on the actual timeline. So let's go to Rowi now, and you see that at reply we have there, and we'll go over here to mentions and refresh it. It's looking for new items. That little arrow indicates, if you can see right there, it indicates that I have things up here to look at, and there we are in a line telling the last. So same exact layout of different interaction there. We can go to the actual tweet. Come on, and we have those same things there. So we will reply to him real fast. I'll tell you in a few. Oops. Doing a video right now. Y'all didn't need to see all that, but might as well go ahead and reply to him while I can, right? Alright, so there's the mentions on Rowi. So far, basically, they're all pretty much similar with just a few little things. The only difference so far that I don't like about any of them is Rowi having to actually go into here to actually retweet with a comment. As you can see on Carbon and Mehdoh so far, we've been able to retweet with a comment, or Carbon called it something else, without actually having to click on that actual tweet, which is kind of contradictory, because on my Galaxy Nexus I use Tweetcaster, and you have to click on the actual tweet to do anything. So, but I like it a lot. So anyway, alright, so mentions on Carbon. And if you notice on Carbon, you got a little dot between each of the at the beginning of each of these words. They're all over the place, and I think that has something to do with their branding or whatnot. So anyway, same thing. Hold down the tweet, same stuff. You click on this and share via email, translate. Same things, same exact as with the other two. So here's where something gets different, and where I like Carbon the most. Messages. See all these messages here. These are my direct messages. I really like Carbon in the fact that we have a threaded comment view. What you'll see here, see each of the last few people that I've interacted through direct messages with. Let's go back, and I'll show you Mehdoh on the same thing. Come on, slow. It loads new tweets every time Mehdoh comes up, and it does all the timelines. So anyway, I had to go ahead and do a whole line of messages with myself with my Axum site account, because I didn't want to get down here to other people's private messages to me, and I don't want you to see that. But you see each individual tweet from one particular user is in a big line here, and I like the threaded view of Carbon much better. So it's the same thing with Rowi. It does pretty much the exact same thing as far as the messages are concerned. Went the wrong way. Let me put my hand over here because I have it. Yep. This also, oh, I'm sorry, Rowi does have threaded, but yeah, you can actually see the last thing that was said for each of these people, and hopefully none of these people said anything y'all care about. But click on here. Yeah, here we go. This is threaded as well. I totally forgot that Rowi had it threaded. So there's a plus there, and it's a plus for carbon. So let's show you carbon again. And here we go, timeline. You saw it brings me back to the timeline instead of directly into the direct messages. Like when we go back into Mehdoh, I should be at mentions on Mehdoh because it actually remembers where you were last. And here we go. Let's see. Here's the threaded conversation that I had with myself. Hey, let's do these DMs to push down, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it, da, 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 da. Very nice. I really like that. And I can say, yep. Bam. And it's there. So, anyway, just to show you on Mehdoh, when I go back into Mehdoh, we're going to go, it should be at your time. Oh, no. I lied to you. It came back to the timeline. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I thought that it remembered where you were. Maybe it's between mentions and timeline here. But anyway, so now here's something Mehdoh has. It has a favorites column here. But anyway, that's not what I want to show you. We're going to go out down into, and if you notice, all three of these actually use the device's theme. If I was to change, and I'll show you that. If I go change my settings here and change to a dark layout instead of light, and go back into these Mehdoh, now we have a dark theme. If you see, it takes the colors and the theme, the darkness or light from the actual system, which is really cool. I like that a lot. However, I prefer, start receiving notifications and yes. Why would I not? Why did that change? That was weird. Huh. Okay, I lied to you. It's not Mehdoh that remembers where you were. It was Rowi, excuse me. That is my fault. So, but you see we're in dark themes now. So let's go back to, we'll start with carbon on the options, and I'm going to show you the difference in all the options on these now. Alright, we got view trends, go to @tweet, accounts, settings, pin account tile. And here on pin account tile, that's where if I had my Axum site brought up, it would have pinned the Axum site account to there. So don't know why I just did that for you, but hey, like I said, this is going to be a long video, so you're ahead of time warned. So here I've got two accounts set up, which the other two, I know Mehdoh doesn't allow for two accounts, and I'm pretty sure Rowi doesn't either. So anyway, we got settings, number of tweets per line, tweet size, normal. Let's go to small, and we'll see what that looks like when we get out of there. After refresh, go to last new or the first new. Show images in timeline, which is a feature that's pretty unique to Carbon. If somebody actually tweets it, it'll have it in there with the text over it, kind of like a CSS thing. Open links in Internet Explorer, it's on. Quote style, retweet, you can change that to via or quote. Ask me every time, so you can change it each way. I like this way the best. I've got geotagging and twit longer turned off. Services, it'll let you pick which services you want to use to upload, and there's not a lot of choices for your Twitter pictures. I use YFrog or Twitter myself. Started, when Twitter started doing it themselves. I use Bitly because I don't feel like fooling with others. Read later, I use read later, or what is that called? The one I use, Instapaper, or read it later. That's what I use, but I don't have that set up right now. Live tiles, enabling background updates, every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, Carbon updates the live tile with what you have going on there, which I don't like. I would rather have it push. Here's an about. You see all these dot lines, that kind of explains why you got dot in front of everything probably. Privacy policy, accounts again. So there's the settings for Carbon. Now here's Rowi, or Rowi, or however they say it. Alright, about and settings, hidden pineapple creation, following Rowi app, or it would say follow there. Feedback tells you how to get a hold of them. Sync settings, they actually have a web service where you can actually set it up to kind of like what is that application? Seismic does it that way as well. Settings, Internet Explorer or Rowi's internet browser or web browser. When a timeline loads a new item, scroll to the top or don't touch. And then about. Not a heck of a lot of options there. And you've got the settings for the actual font size, so skip that. But anyway, let's go to Mehdoh and look at those options now. To me, so far, each of these have their own individual best things. I think that Rowi is my favorite right now because of the push notifications, but Mehdoh is pretty feature rich and Carbon is proving to be the same. There's a lot of things that Mehdoh does better than the other two. Alright, settings here. We've got how you can display, whether it be their screen name or their real name. Font size, we got original, I'm going to go smaller. Fetch the following amount of tweets, let's just bump that up to 50. Twit pick, let's go to, let's leave twit pick because that's, yeah. Show maps, turn that off. Automatically show links, yes. Hide avatar on main screen. On startup, when Mehdoh starts, show the following initially: timeline, mentions, messages, or favorites. We'll go to mentions, and then when Mehdoh starts, refresh the following, and you can actually have it refresh all or none or whatever you select there. And here's your live tile options. I'm not going to read all this to you, but there's 3 or 4 different versions. You got a Twitter avatar, and it actually gives you a listing there. No style basically has just the icon, and unless there's notifications to be told, which, like I said, come every 30 minutes, it won't flip over or anything. The hybrid is what I'm using, which shows like the last few people that I've communicated with, and People Hub kind of does the same. This is a mix between the Twitter avatar and then the Twitter avatar just has just my avatar, but we got the People Hub set up right now. And then we got update all the columns. When I refresh, you can set it up to do just the current column only if you're like on a slower connection or whatever. And all sorts of options there. Save for later service, Instapaper, read it later, location service. I mean, look at all these. Yeah, I was right. Mehdoh does not have an option for a second account. So, and then about, then back to general. So anyway, that's pretty much all I really wanted to show you, how they all operated, just the general basics. If you want or need push notifications, Rowi is your option right now. If you're looking for the most feature rich, I think Mehdoh is your option, or Carbon, probably a close second on that. Carbon it's been pretty anticipated, but I hate to say it, but I don't really think it's any better than Mehdoh. And these two are, Rowi and Mehdoh, are the two that I've been using, flip-flopping back ever since I've started using Windows Phone again, which was about 3 or 4 months ago when I got this Titan. And I think for now I'm going to continue to use Rowi. So this video was basically just to kind of give you an idea what each of them look like, what the pluses and minuses of them are, and I believe that I might have accomplished that. If you have any questions, hit me up at Axum Site or in the comment section here, although it's probably easier to catch me on Axum Site because I rarely get a chance to hit the YouTube comments. So anyway, my name is Chris Leckness, AxumSite.com. Thanks for watching.